YouTube, what it do? It's your boy back. Respect my perspective. Respectfully though. Hey, look, we've been locked in on this Ryan Clark versus Cam Newton, and I think this has been a very, very good debate back and forth that the sports entertainment world needs, especially for two black men, you know what I'm saying, keeping it out of the personals and just, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth with their wits and, you know what I'm saying, standing on their position that they took. You dig what I'm saying? And all this started from Cam Newton, Jalen Hurts take. And Cam Newton said something first about Ryan Clark about being safe and his takes and all that. So Ryan Clark juiced it up. Not really juiced it up, but spiced it up a little bit on, you know what I'm saying, the take about Jalen Hurts or whatever. And then we got Petty Cam. You feel what I'm saying? So we about to hop back. This is the response to Petty Cam, if I'm not mistaken. So we about to listen to this first. I'm gonna give y'all my insights on what's ever going, what I feel about it. You dig what I'm saying? And then we gonna go ahead and get to it.
And I had to deal with it all week. I ain't heard nothing from y'all. What y'all think about all the Cam, Jalen, everybody else stuff that happened last week?
Well, I mean, y'all know me, right? I just sit back and observe. Just like I do on this show, I sit back and observe. First of all, I'm gonna say this. I would say you and Cam, man, you're legends in your own right? Cam was an amazing football.
And how I feel is, I feel like everybody gonna pick Cam Newton career. If you had to choose career-wise, Ryan Clark's or Cam Newton, they gonna pick Cam Newton career every time. But if you want to counteract that, Ryan Clark has had a way more better or successful post career, with him being on ESPN, with him being an analyst. I think he won what is it? He won something. I forgot what the award was. Excuse me, that's kind of disrespectful, but like, it's an important award for his basically his journalism about sports and being a sports analyst. He's won one of those, so it's kind of like he's up there, bro. He's been
a football player, someone going undrafted to achieve the type of career you have, and that goes without us even doing this show, you know, and being brothers here. But to be undrafted and play 13 years, to win a Super Bowl, and establish yourself as one of the hardest hitting safeties that the game has seen, I mean, you gotta respect that. And we know Cam's resume. It was the personal shots that kind of tilted everything to the left. And once I saw it go there, I was like, nah, this ain't what it is. You know, debating the
That's what I said. It stopped being about Jalen Hurts once that happened.
Game is where it should always stay. We can easily blame Jalen. Jalen's a top 10 quarterback. The trajectory that he's on obviously continues to play in this fashion. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. And no one can argue that. So Cam kind of jumped out there and created something because he loses nothing. It's a 50-50 take, right? If Jalen goes out there and plays well, then he doesn't lose anything. Yeah. So Cam knows this space. He knows what he's doing. He's active. He's good at it. He's great at football. But I just don't want you guys to take it any further, which is why I applaud you for going back to kind of cut it at the head and say, look, it's gone too far. Yeah. Leave it where we left it, and that be that. So that's my take.
Why are you laughing already?
Cause Shannon with the bullshit. Shannon with the bullshit, bruh. But it's just like this, bruh. This is one thing I do agree with about Cam. I do feel like it's a lot of goody two shoe, but it's a lot. But that don't mean that there isn't a time where Ryan Clark or people that do these shows on ESPN on these high altitude of a platform that's been around for years and years to come haven't made, you know what I'm saying, controversial takes. His takes about Aaron Rodgers are golden. Like when he talks about Aaron Rodgers and the real Aaron Rodgers and how he has been these last 3 to 4 years, that's not him being safe. You dig what I'm saying? So I will give him that, but it's just like we need more of it. We need more of it. And it's okay to go at each other long as you, like I said, are supporting your take with facts. If you don't have any facts and you just start bringing up personals, your debate is you're losing. That's just how debating goes. Ask anybody that's a pro debater, anybody, go watch the debates, the movie. Like, when you start getting personal, you're losing.
Talking about taking it personal, I think Gilly took it a little personal. I don't want y'all to get to the Gilly point. If y'all ain't seen that, go watch Gilly. But yeah, man, I hate when there's a debate and there's an opinion and it starts getting personal and starts going back and forth with what I did, what you didn't do. It's almost like when people say he can't be a good coach, he never played the game. The best coach in the history of ball, any ball, football, baseball, basketball, didn't play the game.
That's a
But
fact.
they know the game. So to go resume to resume, I think that was petty on Cam's side. But to your point, like, what does Cam have to lose for saying those approaches? The 4th and 1, I watch it. Cam's good. Cam's our dude. I go to his cigar shop whenever I go to Atlanta, whenever we're in Atlanta. Cam's a good guy. But to put it to a point of resume, that's why I thought it went wrong. And I was surprised. I'm not going to lie. I know I brought up Gilly. That was, I was surprised that you didn't go a little harder. You came out very professional, brother. I was like, because I'm watching from afar. I'm like, okay, so he'll punch his throne. Let me see what RC is going to throw. You ain't throw like I thought you was going to throw.
Yeah, man, because I'm not going to act wounded when I'm not.
I'm not going to act wounded when I'm not. Yeah, that's true. I feel that. I feel that. Like I said, bruh, you know what I'm saying? I get where Cam was coming from with the Jalen Hurts thing, and I get where Ryan Clark was coming from. You dig what I'm saying? It's just when the personal shots came, and that's when I said I like if I was Cam, I wouldn't even ever mention Gilly, just for the fact that he's a Philadelphia equal fan. All Philadelphians gonna have that same energy when it comes out to their quarterback. If he was talking about another quarterback in another city, and I can't really say that, because I feel like Philadelphia is just one of those places that when it comes out to their sports, they love their sports, and they not like either, especially when they winning. When they winning, oh my, you can't tell them nothing. You can't tell them nothing. So that's what I'm saying with that. But at some point, you know what I'm saying, I do feel like, you know what I'm saying, I think the comments got to him more than what people were saying. Because if you go back, even when I posted it and people was in my comments having a debate, which I'm glad to see, because that means people care about the game. Especially fans, players, everybody included, they care about the game. It's more so of, was like, oh, Cam didn't jump on the fumble, or Cam only had one good MVP season, or Ryan Clark has a Super Bowl, Cam doesn't. Like, they play two different positions, first of all. Second of all, if you ask anybody that wants to be a football player, whether they want to be a safety or a quarterback, they're going to want Cam Newton's career over Ryan Clark's with the 2 Super Bowl appearances and the Super Bowl 1. Cam was a polarizing figure. He was the first type at that position. Yeah, we had Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham, any other running quarterback, Frank Tarkenton, anybody that you want to name that was, you know what I'm saying, that ran the football, Steve Young, you know what I'm saying? But they wasn't like him. They wasn't running no quarterback powers and going 80 to the 2, you know what I'm saying? Like, Cam was the first. Vic, Lamar, he at that position at 6'6" can run probably a 4.4, 4.5, running a quarterback. Only the next person in line is Josh Allen. You dig what I'm saying? So that was my thing.
Right, and I wasn't wounded. I wasn't hurt. Shoot, 2 weeks ago, Cam took shots at me, said I played it safe as an analyst because I thought he could be an advocate for Jayden. I didn't take a shot at Cam personally or career-wise. I shot him a text after he went at me. I said, bro, we ain't got no beef. I saw his people that night at Topgolf. I said, I ain't got no issues with Cam. Then the Jalen thing comes up, and my analysis was, let me use Cam as a player to draw reference to. Let me use Eli. Let me use Patrick Mahomes. And just to not play it safe, instead of just saying Cam didn't win a Super Bowl and Jalen did and Eli did and Mahomes did, I said, I'm going to say Cape and I'm going to bring up rings. And so then he goes into this whole thing that's really personal, comparing our careers, our resumes. But that didn't hurt me either. The reason I stepped up for Cam was Back in the day when everybody was saying he shouldn't have an opinion, I think it was about Dak, I came on this show and said why he should. And my intention this time wasn't to say he couldn't have an opinion. I actually used Cam as a point of reference as to why I thought Jalen was a top 10 quarterback. And so then when Cam says all that stuff, to me, that's a matter of perspective, right? Because think about if Cam was trying to introduce me to his 7-on-7 kids and was using my story to inspire instead of to insult, right?
That's true too. That's true. But the thing is though, it's like it's the art of war. It's the art of war. We not talking about 7-on-7 kids right now. It's between me and you. You dig what I'm saying? Like that's what the perspective from the audience is seeing. That is the perspective of what everybody's seeing. Is like out of all the people that spoke on what Cam Newton said, which they took away from what you said and from what he said. You dig what I'm saying? We didn't snatch away what Dan Orlovsky said. We didn't snatch away from what Stephen A. Smith said. What anybody else had an opinion on, it was for some reason they snatched away what you said, Ryan Clark, and what Cam Newton said. You dig what I'm saying? And once it got to that point to where though it got personal and then he started comparing careers, I personally believe, this is what I believe, is that he was reading the comments. He was reading the comments and what people were saying, because if you go back and look at what Ryan Clark said, all he did was disagree with him. I don't think he ever mentioned the fumble. I don't ever think he ever mentioned anything about Cam as a player, if I'm not mistaken. But Cam was so fed up. It got to a point though. He got so fed up that it was coming from everybody. The comments, the people that was making the Turon, the Gillies, everybody, that it was just like this particular episode. I got a bullet for everybody. I don't care who you is, and that's just how he carried it. So that's what I respect about it. It's like that's what I respect, because I know that feeling when you feel like everybody just attacking you for what you said and not actually, you know what I'm saying, they're attacking the messenger and not hearing the message.
Because then he could say, yeah, nobody wanted this guy. They said he couldn't play, right? But an undrafted guy who was cut played longer than the first rounder that stands before you, because I played longer than Cam. Not only did he play longer than the first rounder that stands before you or the overall first pick, he played longer than any safety that was drafted the same year he was drafted.
I'm sorry, Ryan. That's not good enough. No, because you got some people that you can line up any other running back, probably besides Jim Brown, against Barry Sanders, and they'll take Barry Sanders every time. Emmitt Smith, Walter Payton, Adrian Peterson, whoever you want to throw out there, right? And he only played 10 years. You can do that. The same thing with Calvin Johnson. He only played 10 years. 9-10 years. There's only probably 2 people that they're taking in front of him. Maybe 3. Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Dennis Megatron. You feel what I'm saying? And Jerry Rice played for 20-something years. You dig? So it's just like, just because you played longer doesn't mean your career was better. Depending on your impact. You know what I'm saying? Depending on your impact, you got a lot of people that you weren't even the best safety on your team. That was Troy Polamalu. So it just depends. We all football fans, and we know how this shit works, and we know how people feel about certain players and what they did on the field. Was you a hard-hitting safety? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Did you overachieve from, I guess, football standards? Yes. But in real life, no. You didn't overachieve. You did what you were supposed to do. You did something that a lot of people fail to do in life, is to do something they love to do and get paid for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say you overachieved. You knew that you belonged in the NFL. You just proved it to yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, just because you played longer, I think it's just because just think about it. A lot of people would have been fine with Jordan stopping after he beat the Utah Jazz for his second three-peat. We ain't really want him to go to the Wizards for real. And me being from the DMV area, like, yeah, we seen him play but we don't give a fuck about that shit. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we would have rather seen him, you know what I'm saying? He would have ended his career with Chicago, like Kobe did with the Lakers, like Nowitzki did with, you know what I'm saying, the Mavericks. Even if he would have played for 15 years and not the extra 4 or 5 or 3 that he played for with the Wizards, we would have been fine with that. So just you playing longer doesn't really mean your career was better. Even you, if you want to argue the fact that I've been to 2 Super Bowls and I was a part of that defense, I was a starter on that defense, that's a valuable point. Okay, cool. You feel what I'm saying? But it's just like, then you got some people that's gonna come back and be like, well, shit, you weren't even the best safety on that defense. Troy Polamalu was. So it's always a, you know what I'm saying? But that's the beautiful thing about debating. That's the beautiful thing about debating. That's not personal. That's a fact. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you can't argue the personals, but you can argue the facts.
I did. And 1 Pro Bowl wouldn't be you only made 1 Pro Bowl. It would be from being cut, from having a regular job, from being undrafted, you became a Pro Bowler. You worked hard enough to be voted captain. You did get to change rules because of the way you played. And I think if you tell my story that way, it's a matter of perspective, and you say, oh no, this dude did accomplish a lot. Maybe he even overachieved, which I'm comfortable with. Basically, what Cam told people was that he was more gifted than me. Duh.
Look, bruh, I met Ryan Clark, bruh. And even I had to call my dad. I'm like, dang, Ryan Clark was like 2-3 inches taller than me, bruh. But that just goes to show you that he had more determination than me, he had more heart than me, he put more work into whatever position he wanted to play than me. You feel what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, they go out for the team, they either get cut, make the team. Some people are just God gifted, you know what I'm saying, specimens, all types of shit, bro. You got all different types of body types playing football, playing sports. Some of us, you know what I'm saying, we fall short in that category, and you have to overwork yourself. Not really overwork you, but you have to outwork everyone else to get accepted. And that's what Ryan Clark had to do, and that's respectful in his own right, you know what I'm saying? But it's always, when you're debating, there's always a comeback for everything, you dig what I'm saying? And I feel like this was a good debate that NFL needed, NFL fans needed, sports fans needed, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of spilled over to everything else, and which I'm not gonna post or get into, you dig what I'm saying? I'm keeping it sports because that's what I love. And if I had to say whoever won this, if you want to, you know what I'm saying, call it to an end and say, you know what I'm saying, who you think won this debate between Ryan Clark and Cam Newton, I would still have to give it to Cam Newton right now, because what he did on that episode was legendary, because I feel like so many people can relate to it. You dig what I'm saying? Now, is Ryan Clark supposed to still stand on what he needs to stand on, and this is his final statement, and does it make sense? Yes. But at the end of the day, to me, Cam Newton was more impactful on why he felt the way he felt about Jalen Hurts. You know what I'm saying? But do I agree with Cam about him not being a top 10 quarterback? No. But do I understand why? Yes. If you using the merit of what he did last season. And I've already proven that and said that in my last video. You can go back and look at it if you want to. But you know what I'm saying? Let me know how y'all feel about it. Hit the like button. In the comment section, let me know how you feel. Hit the subscribe button with the notification on so you never miss a video. You dig what I'm saying? Shout out to the Pivot. Shout out to 4th and 1. You dig what I'm saying? It was a great battle. A great battle of wits, of smarts, of knowledge. You dig what I'm saying? Of the game of football. And I appreciate that as a fan. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, my boy.